What's good, guys? So in today's video, I'm going to show you exactly how to get leaner and build muscle while getting rid of fat at the same time. Something that I want to preface before getting into this video is that if you don't know me, I used to be 270 pounds and then I got down all the way to 220 and then I went down to 170 and then I got skinny fat and then I got all the way down to 140. So in this video specifically, a lot of you guys are wondering how to actually get out of the skinny fat phase. So you guys are going to see a real call I had with one of my clients, my client Esteban, and I basically run him through the entire process on what he should do and what he should avoid. So we go over types of cardio to actually do in order to get him the best results, types of cardio to avoid, the best way to train, how to actually structure a morning routine so that he is the most disciplined he can be, and how to make sure he keeps up this amazing progress he's made so far. The main topic here is cardio, right? And actually fitting things into your lifestyle, right? Because you want to get that bigger physique, especially when you're in the skinny fat stage, right?
Yeah.
So the best cardio in terms of leanness, well, the first thing we have to go over is that spot reduction is a myth, right? So you can't just like be like, oh, I want to lose my love handles, so I'm going to do this exercise, right? Oh, I'm going to lose my chest fat, so I'm going to do this form of cardio, right? There's no certain kind of cardio that's going to help you do that, right?
Yeah, I figured that out.
Yeah. Now, the thing is, with this, we're already doing this right now, but we just want to create a overall calorie deficit instead, right? So like 200 to 500 deficit, that's good, right? That's already the first step. Now, we want to do kind of zone 2 cardio, right? So steady state, 30 to 60 minutes, 3 to 5 times weekly, okay? So like low intensity, steady state cardio. Yeah? I'll go over that a bit more within the next part, but that's zone 2. And HIIT cardio is optional, right? So we can do like something like sprints, Stairmaster, things like that. But it's higher calorie burn, but it's harder to recover. And we want to aim to do this maybe 1 to 2 times a week, right? Because we don't want to be overly fatiguing our body. We want to make sure that it's actually able to recover from our lifts, right?
Yeah.
Because we still want to be able to see muscle growth from our strength training. We want to be able to optimize it as best as we can. And doing HIIT cardio, we're just kind of being redundant in our training. And the last thing we want to do is be redundant in our training when we can be more efficient. Yeah?
Yeah.
So now kind of with zone 2 training, we want to keep the heart rate to 60 to 70% of your max, right? So usually probably nothing too intense. You want to still be able to hold a light conversation is a better way of putting it. Because I'm not sure if you have an Apple Watch or the health app, but you don't really want to be tracking like your heart rate all the time, as it can be helpful, but it's not ideal for everyone, right?
Yeah. It's also like extra weight.
Yeah, exactly. And you don't want to just be like, if you don't want the extra weight, you don't want to be counting your heartbeat like mid cardio, like wait, let me count. It's like it's gonna throw you off, and you don't want that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So with that, the effort level, you want to still be able to have a conversation. So an example is like on the treadmill, what I do is like a 3 incline, and what I recommend to other clients is 3 speed and maybe a 12.5 incline. Now, you're already a pretty athletic guy, but for other people who are on the more overweight side, that's where I would recommend going a bit of less of an incline, because the weight is going to hold them back a bit. But I would definitely recommend like going like 12 and a half, like incline, maybe 13, and around a 3 speed. Okay.
Gotcha.
Okay. So, and tracking tools, if you want, you can use like the Apple Watch or the health app, especially so. For low intensity cardio, you can also do stuff like walking, but just know that there is a difference between just hitting your steps and you doing this set cardio on the treadmill.
I've heard a bunch of people saying running and walking hits things differently in your body, like burning fat.
Oh yeah, they're talking about visceral fat, like compared to like the outer layer of fat. They're thinking like the fat around your organs. So they say sprints is going to target that fat specifically, right?
Yeah.
Now, well, yes, like it kind of does happen like that. It's not going to be more beneficial to do one over the other, okay? Because at the end of the day, it comes to calories in, calories out. As I know everyone says that, but that's just how it works, right? It's just simple science at that point.
All right, gotcha.
And if you're doing this high intensity cardio, if you're doing all these sprints, then it's going to be difficult for you to actually recover, wouldn't you say?
Yeah.
Yeah. So if you're doing what, let's say you finish a lift and you do sprints after. The next day, it's going to be harder for you to have fully recovered from your previous workout, especially if you're hitting something like legs the next day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think that's something you want to do, like multiple workouts.
Yeah, 100%. And why would you make it harder for yourself if you can do it an easier way, you know?
Yeah.
It's not in this sense, it's not taking the easy way out. It's doing things simpler so that you can actually see better results. Yeah?
Yeah,
Because
gotcha.
a lot of people they'll go overkill and then they'll just like spam cardio. Literally, like you've heard that terminology before, right? Oh, just spam cardio.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
it's just like thinking about it. No, thank you.
Yeah, you don't want to spam cardio. Like as long as you're in a deficit, as long as you're getting these 10K steps a day, and if you're also getting in like those like 30 minutes to an hour of like the incline treadmill, I promise you, you are going to see the results you want. You are going to get that leanness. Mhm. And
Gotcha.
our overall approach here is body recomp. So we don't like want to be like super, super aggressive with it at the same time, right?
All right. Yeah.
And okay, ignore this guy. Well, like when I typed it in, it gave me an AI image of this. It actually came out like it looks pretty realistic, surprisingly. It's kind of
Yeah.
scary. But
Isn't
okay, sorry about that. Anyways, so cardio timing strategy. So what we want to do, lift first, cardio second, or on a separate day entirely, okay? Because our main goal here is to actually build muscle. Mhm. We
Yeah.
want to have that foundation. So when you lose that additional fat, you have like that shredded six pack, you have those strong shoulders, you have all of that. Okay. So lift first, cardio second if you can. So the result is better performance and more muscle retention. So, because if you do your cardio first, you're going to overly fatigue yourself before your lifts. You're not going to be able to lift as much. You're not going to be able to do as many reps. Mhm.
Yeah.
So,
And
mhm.
and people online have been saying limit your cardio after workout because apparently you lose muscle, and I don't know what to believe anymore because of that.
They say what, sorry?
Because I've heard online people were saying limit your cardio to about like 20 to 30 minutes because and it has to be light cardio too because you could lose muscle.
Yeah, that's true. Like,
Yeah.
well, it's not necessarily you're losing muscle. It's just it's going to be more difficult for you to actually build muscle because you're overly fatiguing yourself. You're not giving your body enough time to actually recover,
All right.
right? So that's not what we want, obviously.
Okay.
But yeah, now do you fully understand the cardio topic?
Yeah.
Mhm.
I've gotten like basically a full understanding on that.
Okay, awesome. So now is the actual workout nutrition timeline. So kind of before your pre-workout, what you want to eat, you want to make sure you're actually eating. Okay. A lot of people they just don't eat for some reason, especially before their workouts. Fasted cardio is not the method. Trust me. Or not fasted cardio. Well, fasted cardio isn't the method, and also fasted workouts are not the method.
All
Mhm.
right.
So pre-workout, you want 20 to 40 grams of carbs and 20 to 30 grams of protein. But just be careful with the kind of protein you're putting into your body, especially if you're like pretty reactive, like your stomach's pretty reactive to certain kinds. So what I recommend is rice cakes, some sort of a whey isolate or a banana, and some Greek yogurt. Mhm.
Yeah. All right.
And if you do find that the protein is actually messing with your stomach and you prefer not to have it before your workouts, what I do is rice cake, banana, honey on top. Yeah. And a
Yeah.
little bit of salt. Now, intro workout, it's optional, but if you're doing long sessions, which how often do your sessions run for again?
Um, if I'm just doing weights, it can range from like an hour to an hour and a half.
Mhm. Okay, hour and a half. So intro workout, it's not as necessary unless you do feel like you want more energy towards the end of your workout and you find that it's kind of being affected. But I have some days where like I'll just go to the gym for more of a mental thing and I'll train my entire body. Those workouts last like maybe 3 hours sometimes if I'm feeling it. But I have other workouts where like I can finish it in like 45 minutes if I just try to get through the day, right? So on workouts that are shorter, I don't think it's exactly necessary like to have an intra workout meal, but you can. That's why you see like people eating like Sour Patch Kids or like gummy bears like mid workout sometimes.
I think for this one, I was trying to say like between like running and like working out.
Between running and working out. So working out, then you run.
Yeah, cause like you know how I mentioned already how apparently you lose muscle.
Yeah.
Yeah, like could I just like have like a little like carved up meal before I run after working out?
Yeah, I would say so. Like maybe like some sort of small like carb source if you want. Now, it's not exactly necessary if you're running straight after your meals too. If you feel like you need the energy, then I would. But if you feel like it's not super necessary, then I would kind of based on how your body's feeling that day.
All right.
Because in that regard, like, because you're not gonna do your workout, and if you're doing cardio straight after, you're not gonna eat more, right?
Yeah.
So it's more if you're doing a long run, then I would say. But if not, then I'd say it's totally okay.
All right,
Yeah.
got yeah.
Now, post workout, so within an hour, 30 to 50 grams of carbs plus 25 to 40 grams of protein. But you want to prioritize real food over just protein powder and supplements, right?
Yeah, I try to minimize any protein use from
Yeah,
powder.
like if necessary, yes, but it's always better to get it from like whole foods. Yeah. And does that make sense? The workout nutrition timeline?
Yeah, that
Okay, awesome.
helps.
Now, actually, the morning discipline blueprint. So you were mentioning like you're on your phone like in the morning. Like, are you like just doom scrolling in the beginning?
It's not even doom scrolling. I just turn on my TV and start watching like One Piece.
Oh, dude, I gotta get on One Piece. Like, my friends keep telling me, but it's just so daunting. The like 1,000 episodes, like
I
over.
know, I know, and my friend just like was like, "Bro, watch it," and I started watching it. It look he starts getting better and better.
Really? What season are you on?
Uh, I'm on season 5, I think.
Season
It's like
five?
episode 147.
Oh, you got a long way to go still,
I know.
dude. I keep watching like animes that aren't even like the smaller ones because it's it scares me how like long One Piece is. But
Oh,
I'm definitely gonna get around to that. But
you should.
yeah,
You should.
if I do, I'll let you know. But yeah,
I
so
bet.
watching One Piece in the morning. So you're just laying down in bed watching One Piece, right?
Yeah, basically.
So there are a few like things we can actually do. Okay, so one is like, are you watching on your phone or iPad or like what are we doing?
I just turn on my TV.
Okay, so well, okay, now this kind of doesn't apply, but what we can do too. So phone across the room. Like I know you're not watching it on your phone, but it could help too. Phone across the room. Prep your clothes the night before, and the 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 countdown method. Do you know what that is?
No, I don't know.
Okay, so basically, it's like a kind of analogy, like or even a sense like I use it like if I want to talk to a girl or something, I'm like 3, 2, 1, and then I just do it. So it kind of makes you do it. So when you're in bed, instead of turning on the TV, count yourself down 3, 2, 1, and you get up. I know it sounds stupid, but like try it first. Like even if you want to try to talk to a girl, just be like 3, 2, 1, and then boom. Like
All
trust.
right.
Like
I'll do,
that's actually like a lot of people talk about it, and it seems stupid, but it does work.
all right. Then I'll try that in the morning
Yeah,
until it goes.
yeah. That one you can try it in a lot of things. But anyways, so early light exposure as well. So like when you wake up after the 3, 2, 1 method and stand up, just open your blinds.
All
Yeah.
right. Yeah.
And the advantage of like you're training in the morning, or that's what you were saying, right?
Yeah, I wanted to start implementing morning training rather
Okay.
than night.
So morning training, there are a few advantages. So higher testosterone levels, right? Like especially in males. Like I know it's kind of stupid, but like a lot of people like you'll know you'll know how much testosterone you have based on your mornings. Like if you okay, this sounds kind of bad, but like if you wake up with a tense, then you know your testosterone is at a good level.
All right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And fewer interruptions, like in the morning, like you're not going to be as distracted. Not as many people are going to be like kind of in your ear. You're usually not going to go out in the mornings unless you have school, right? So that's where it kind of comes into play. And better routine building because then the rest of your day is free,
Yeah,
right?
that's just what I want to think about, you know?
Yeah, exactly. So you get your workout out of the way. You're building that discipline. It's all things that are actually going to help you a lot. So do you think this is actually going to help you implement this into your morning routine?
Yeah, I think it'd definitely be better to implement all this.
Okay, awesome. Now, I can also send you this recording too. I think I'm going to post it in the Discord just so that other people can actually get value out of it as well.
All
Yeah.
right. Yeah.
Now, okay, now actually building muscle while leaning out. Something I do want to mention is that yes, you can build muscle while in a deficit, but of course you're not going to be able to maximize it. Okay?
All right.
So we can still maintain muscle and build a good amount, but can't be maximized. Just want to put that out there. Now, what we want to focus on is a mild deficit. Okay, so 200 to 300 calories below maintenance, which is already pretty much what we're doing essentially, right?
Yeah.
So don't be too focused on the numbers on the scale because we want to focus here on recomping the correct way, right? We don't
Yeah.
want to like end up like kind of like saggy in a sense.
Yeah.
That happened to me, bro. Trust me, that is not what you want.
Bro, I don't know how that didn't happen to me, and I lost like 60 pounds in like 5 months.
But right now, you're in a pretty good position to where we can actually have a strong foundation, which is good.
All right.
Now, strategic carbs, so focus on around workouts for performance, which we already kind of went over, because the carbs, it's not, you don't necessarily need a certain amount. Like, sure, it does help, like having like 20 to 40 grams before, 30 to 50 after, but at the end of the day, it's actually like, it's just a certain amount of calories you got to play around with in a deficit, right? Same with
Yeah.
protein priority. We want to aim to 0.8 to 1 gram per body weight. Pretty simple. Mhm.
Yeah.
Now, upper body definition guide. So for chest definition, we can do incline pressing movements, but it also depends on how dominant your triceps and your shoulders are, right? Because
Yeah.
if your shoulders, like your front delt, a little bit of your side delt, and your triceps are overly dominant, they might just take over in those lifts. And the thing is, you want to kind of avoid that. So what I would recommend is focusing on, while you can do these incline pressing movements, I would recommend like kind of doing like fly variations. So like a flat fly and like a low to high. Yeah.
Yeah.
So would you say right now your chest is your main priority along with your back?
Yeah. I kind of want to like define them, maybe like size them up a bit more,
Hmm. So
especially the back.
the back. Okay. So chest, we want to focus on going pretty heavy on the flies. Okay.
All right.
Especially if you're not as focused on your triceps and shoulders, then 100% on the flies. Mhm. So we can do a low to high variation and just a normal pec deck.
All right.
You can do some sort of front raise too. What I'm doing right now, like I'm doing front raises, like kind of set up on the bench, but using the cables and the cuffs. So some sort of front raise. Sure, it'll be a bit of side delt, but you're also going to get that upper chest. But what you want to do first is a pec deck doing like that flat fly. Okay?
Yeah.
Because the flat is going to take up the majority of your chest. The incline is relatively small, but yeah, the incline is a lot smaller, so that's why we want to focus a lot more on like the pec deck or flat movements. Mhm.
Okay.
So now back definition. So you want to focus on top of my head. So one like a frontal plane movement. So lat pull down. I believe we're doing that right now, right?
Yeah, we're doing lat pull downs.
And then we want to do some sort of row variation. Now the lat pull downs too. You can. I'm currently experimenting this with myself because I don't like recommending things to clients before I've given it a try or done heavy research on it. But I'm like, have you heard of Keenan flaps?
No. I don't even know
Okay.
what it is.
We'll get back to that. It's just basically a different way of isolating the lats we can kind of implement later on. But as of now, I'd say I'll give it a try for the next few weeks and let you know how it is. And we can implement that into your training as well. But right now, I'd say the main things are focus on a rowing movement, pull-ups and lat pull-downs, and like you can do deadlifts for overall thickness, but I would recommend some sort of upper back movement. So like can't really describe it right now, but like chest supported row, right? And then doing like the wide variation, going like this. Imagine there's a pencil in the back right here, and you're squeezing it with your scaps.
All right.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, that's
Those three movements, and you can do a heavy hinge too for the lower back, but that's gonna be like unintentionally targeted, like in your RDLs if you're doing.
All right, gotcha.
Okay, awesome. Now, keys to actual long-term success. So you want to prioritize consistency, which you've been actually doing a very good job of. Like sometimes you don't send your meals and stuff, but are you being consistent on those days? I feel like you are.
I'm pretty positive I am. I try to
Okay.
record everything as accurately as possible.
Yeah, okay. Then yeah, I'd say you're pretty consistent then, which is good. So show up even when the motivation is low, which I know you're doing, which is good. Focus on performance. So strength gains lead to aesthetic improvements. So focus on progressive overload, like mentioned earlier, and then you'll see your strength go up as well as your muscle development. And embrace discipline. So structure will always trump emotion every time. Like if you have like a time in your life where you're like, oh, I'm so mad, I'm gonna like do all this and this and this and this, it'll burn out quick, right?
Yeah.
So that's why I like to implement actual structure into our programming. And would you say the structure so far in the program is helping you a lot?
Yeah, I think the
Yeah.
structure does help pretty good.
Okay, awesome. Now, I'd say that's most of what I had. I think that's all I had to go over, right? Did you have any other like questions on that?
I don't think I do have any more questions.